the quicker you can move around. It pulls you over into packed. Your thighs can be together and remain, driving the step, boom. Okay, so we're talking about the knees today and how the knees lead the actions of all your footwork. Just the same as in your upper body, your elbows lead the actions of punches. The knees are going to lead all the actions of your footwork. We're thinking of the knee driving the ankle or the foot forward as the hips stay connected and spine stays connected to the ground. So you see my first step, boom. My second step, boom. Or boom. So then same thing on our pivots. As we pivot, this knee is leading the action and it brings the whole thing across. Now there are two kinds of pivots in Wing Chun. One is appendicular shifting, which is you're shifting over one posted leg over to another posted leg. And then there's axial shifting, which is actually shifting, just staying on your axis and not moving your center. But either way, the knee is going to lead that action. It pulls you over into e.g. Kim Yeung Ma, or Kim Yeung Ma for short. It pulls you into this and then turns you. Okay, so it's a pulling action. A lot of Wing Chun's movements, whether they're with the arms or the legs, when you're doing it, are all pulling based actions, not propelling based actions. That way you pull with those muscles, right? So here you're pulling you're adducting, right? Bringing together, boom, and then boom. And then you come to roughly parallel with your legs, right? Here, boom, 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 boom. That's what we're talking about. Now notice the knee distance. In your Siu Nim Tao, keep about a fist width apart to develop this. Does that mean you always are a fist width apart when you're applying? Not necessarily, but it does mean that you're developing in this way. And really, the more compact your thighs can be together and remain, the quicker you can move around as you do things, whether that be pivoting, so gurks, or Hyun bows, circling foot. So these different things. Now, you aren't limited to this pattern-based footwork. You have to understand that beginners a lot of times think that, I'm limited to this pattern. I can only pivot, and I can only Bil Ma, or I can only advance step this way. No, that's not true. You're free to do everything. These are just things that you practice, and then it comes out during your training. Now notice this circling step. Some people call it a so-gurk, sweeping leg, or Hyun bow, circling stepping. So boom, boom, boom. Notice the compactness here. Okay, to develop this idea, a lot of times we'll hold blocks. That's what we're talking about. Just a 4x4, right? A 4x4, you cut it, and then you place it right into this spot in between the knees. Now, make sure your glutes are engaged as you're doing this. The action of holding the block between your legs is not an action of pinching or clamping hard. It is actually more about positioning and lightly holding this. Don't go and go down and push like that and then bring your weight to the toes. That is completely incorrect. That won't help you. In fact, that'll hurt you. What I want you to do instead is lightly hold this and do it from the origin of the movements. And the origin of that movement is the hips and the glutes. So really, you're holding that block with your glutes. Then, all right, and here's the next step to make sure your weight is in the right spot. You don't want to rock forward in the instance. You want to make sure that your weight is through your ankles, because we're talking about skeletal structure. And that's what structure refers to. It's the solidity of the skeleton. So when I talk about the weightedness, a lot of people put their weight too far forward. Right now my weight is too far forward to be able to hold my structure. What I need to do is I need to be through my ankles. And when you're through the ankles, you have the ability to lift the toes up. I'm not saying your toes should be up when you're fighting, but in order to find that center of balance for your good practice in your Siu Nim Tao and other things, you should be able to raise your toes. So that's the second thing that I want you to do. I want you to make sure your glutes are on as you're holding your block for Kim Sut, and then I want you to raise the toes to make sure that weight is far enough back. Lot of excellent tips in here for you guys that I've learned over the last 26 years of my training. Let me know what questions you have. I'm here to help. And for online lessons, go to wingchunlessons.com. I'm Sifu Adam Willis. Thank you much.